One day isn't enough to say thank you. Every year, we set aside one special day to celebrate the mothers in our life. But to be honest, it's not enough. What I'm working on with my wooden pen is a wooden tray that used to be a part of a high chair that my wife and I bought. You see, she had an idea to get a vintage high chair that we would be able to use for the kids' first birthdays. So when our son turned 1, we brought out his cheesecake and set it on top of this wooden tray. A whole cheesecake, just for him. I'm sure people wondered why we did that, but it was hilarious watching him try to eat that whole thing, even though he couldn't. But when our daughter was born, and it came time for her first birthday, somehow we had separated the wooden tray from the high chair and misplaced the tray. We looked everywhere, but we couldn't find it. So we weren't able to use it for her first birthday. And that was really sad. After a while, we decided that since we had lost the wooden tray, it was time to get rid of the high chair. That was a sad day because this was a special thing in our life. Well, months later, the wooden tray, we actually found it somewhere in our house. But now that we didn't have the high chair, we couldn't keep the tray either. So we decided to throw it out. And when I went to go put it in the outside trash can, I got an idea. What if I keep this? I'll get my wooden pen, heat it up, and write something on it. And one day I'll surprise her with it. And so that's what I'm working on. And while I do, I want to read you a passage from the Book of Wisdom, because it really hits home with what today represents. It reads, "For her worth is far above rubies. The heart of her husband safely trusts her, so he will have no lack of gain. She does him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeks wool and flax and willingly works with her hands. She is like the merchant ships. She brings in her food from afar. She also rises while it is yet night and provides food for her household and a portion for her maidservants. She considers a field and buys it. From her profits, she plants a vineyard. She girds herself with strength and strengthens her arms. She perceives that her merchandise is good, and her lamp does not go out by night. She stretches out her hands to the distaff, and her hands hold the spindle. She extends her hand to the poor. Yes, she reaches out her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of snow for her household, for all her household is clothed with scarlet. She makes tapestry for herself. Her cloth is fine linen and purple. Her husband is known in the gates when he sits among the elders of the land. She makes linen garments and sells them, and supplies sashes for the merchants. Strength and honor are her clothing. She shall rejoice in time to come. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and on her tongue is the law of kindness. She watches over the ways of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children rise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. Many daughters have done well, but you excel them all. Charm is deceitful and beauty is passing, but a woman who fears the Lord shall be praised. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates." I wanted to read that because it reminds me. Every morning my wife wakes up early so that she can study the book that our Creator wrote to us. And while I'm snoring, she's sitting on the couch with our cats, drinking her morning coffee that's mixed with her homemade creamer that she made. No kidding. It's better than any coffee shop, any day. And don't even get me started on her maple breakfast roll-ups. I'm telling you. You see, there was a time in my life when I felt like a sailboat, sitting still in the ocean, waiting for the wind to push me in a certain direction. And if the wind decided to take me this way, then I thought it must be my destiny. For years, I struggled with my ambition and direction. I didn't know how to set my own sail and go and do. But then I met my wife, and it was like the compass inside of me started to work and pointed me in the direction of true north. We've been married almost 7 years, and she has helped me grow in so many areas of my life. I am who I am today, not because of me, but because of her. Thank you cannot be wrapped up into just one day. She is the hardest worker and will go the second mile. She has a love that is precious and real. She reminds us that the value of spending time together as a family is precious because every day is the only day we have. And most importantly, she keeps her eyes focused on the one who gives us life and purpose. So yeah, one day isn't enough to say thank you to her and all the mothers in the world. But to be able to wake up tomorrow and know that she and all the mothers will be there, well, hey, it's a great day in the morning.